Okay, welcome guys to another video. So I know I'm uploading a trading video after a long time, but I had some stuff going on. I've posted a video on my live update, so if you want, you can check that out. So let's get into trading now. This video is all about my single trade in AUD CAD, that is your Australian dollar and your Canadian dollar. So in this video, I'm going to break down how I took the trade, at what points did I enter, at what points did I exit, what was my trading plan, how was my execution, and let's get right into it. So I'll take you to the trading charts of AUD CAD. So as you can see, yeah, let's go first to the daily time frame, and let's go to the daily time frame, and I'll just delete this, and you can see this beautiful counter trend line. So it touched here, and it fell, and this is where it again touched and it fell again, and this is the third and fourth time where it touched. So I had 3 or 4 confirmations for this trade on the counter trend line, and there was a resistance here, but price never touched this. So let's go to a smaller time frame, that is your 4 hours, and this is basically the trade I took, but I'm explaining like why did I take it, right? So as you can, I'll just clear everything out. Yep, I'll delete this as well. I'm planning to take another trade in this. So as you can see, this is one existing resistance, and following that, you can see that this is another area of interest, a region of interest, I would say, not just resistance, support, whatever, but area of interest, I would say. And we'll mark our counter trend line again. So you guys know how I mark my counter trend line. It's nothing fancy. It's just I prefer to take the wicks of the candle. Some people prefer not to take it. Some people prefer it. It's just personal opinion at this point. I just want to be extra sure. That's why I take it. So as you can see, this is exactly the place where our area of interest is coming, and that is exactly where the counter trend line is, right? So price touched here, and we'll move on to the 15 minutes time frame after this. So price was here, and it basically gave a downside move, and you can see you can just examine this area. Like, I'll delete everything, and if you just look at this area right here, you can just tell that the selling is more favorable than the buying, because you can see the big red candles, and you can see the green candles or the lighter color candles, if you understand. Or I'll just change my template to normal. Apply defaults. Yep. So you can tell that the red candles are bigger and wider than the green candles in this, right? So you can simply tell that the selling is more stronger than the buying, right? And it was at the counter trend line, so I just took this trade. I have a screenshot of this as well. I'll show it to you guys. So basically, this was my plan. This was the counter trend line, and there was a support as well on. If you just go to 1 hour time frame, this was the support, and that was the counter trend line. So after confirmation, I just went out and took this trade. So my entry was at 444, somewhere around that. And my exit was very perfect and very crucial, and I'll tell you guys that in a second. So basically, you can see this was the trapping, I would say, that it broke the counter trend line, went like stayed there for a good fair amount of time. People were anticipating that, okay, it's a breakout, I'll buy. But now that is where you get trapped, and that is where I enter as usual. So I saw this trap and I knew that this was a trap. So uh, I just wanted to be extra sure. So that's why I waited for the price to come down. And after it came down till here, and in Xness, like this is my personal account in Xness, you can see that my open price is much higher, like it's 534. So if I had to put 534 here, 534, like you can see that this is much like I entered early in my personal account, and after getting confirmation, I entered safely in my funded account, right? So that was my strategy, and my exit was also very crucial. So for my funded account, my exit was at 88. Wait, yeah, it was at 88,033. So 033. I think this was the lower levels. Like this was my initial target. These levels on the downside. But it never came till this because I'll tell you why. Because there was a support region right here. And I saw this and I was like, because I had already gotten more than 1:2 on this trade, because this was the SL for this. So it was more than 1:2. So I exited my trades here. I'll show you the exit as well. So the close price is 88,764. 88,764. Yeah, so this is where I exited after this fall. Like it was falling and then consolidated, falling, consolidated, fall, consolidate, and after this big fall, this was like for 3-4 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours continuous falling. I knew that after this it was going to give a retest on the upside, because after a sharp selling there is usually a V-shaped recovery if the selling is not that prominent. And that is why I exited my trade. I didn't want it to hold it too long, because if it continued its trend on the downside, like so, I would have been much more interested, but it didn't. So I exited my trade here, and I had gotten more than 40 bips. This is like 60, 70 bips, 67 bips, 0.6 bips on this trade, and I was holding this trade for 2-3 days. So it was 4 days. So yeah, I think this was a good trade, and the trade breakdown for this trade. If you have any doubt, please feel free to reach out or comment or anything like that. Again, I'll explain it to you in extremely short way. This was the existing resistance. It broke out, made a false trap on the upside. And how did I know it was a false trap? Because of the counter trend line that I had drawn. Like it was a strong counter trend line. Any trend line or any zones can be broken, but Forex usually takes 2 or 3 attempts to break a certain significant zone. So that is why I knew that on the first attempt it might not break it, and it didn't, thankfully. So I took advantage of that. I knew that these guys are trapped right here, and they had the SLs below all these levels. So these guys those who took the trade on the trap had the SLs maybe over here. Like this is where their SLs could be. I'll just make it more. Yeah, this is where they put their SLs. Maybe here, maybe here, maybe below these levels, like so, and maybe below these levels. And this is what happened. So all these guys, those who had the SLs right here, it gave a liquidity sweep on the downside, and then it went on the upside, right? Again, I don't believe this buying is strong, but we'll see for the time being because there's news on Monday. Inflation rate is there, so it's on Tuesday, so we'll see about that. But basically, this was the plan and this was the execution. This is how I took the trade. I think this was a 8 on 10 trade. There are things that I could have done better, like this was a good setup. This was an A plus setup. I should have taken more quantity in this because this is my A plus setup, but I didn't because I'm trading forex after a while, so that's why I didn't put more quantity in this. But yeah, we learn, we grow from this, and that's about it. If you have any doubts, please feel free to contact, and I'm making a detailed YouTube video on another topic as well, so which is called your resistance and support is nothing but areas of interest, right? So I'll explain what I just explained, like the support and resistance part, in a much further more depth, so you guys understand how to draw support and resistant areas. And like support and resistance, I only trade support and resistance, but support and resistance is not only the things I look at. I know it's like contradictory to what I say and what I do, but I'll explain in a detailed YouTube video what I do and how I trade and how I basically do my technical analysis. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you have a nice trading week next week. Thank you.